What up? What up? Fantasy football hustler back at you, and we are bringing you fantasy news today. We're here with the Wednesday crew, and we got TD in the building from Fantasy Good Sports.
What up, bro?
Going down, fire. Going to be a crazy ass news day today, so everyone better buckle up. And you already know he's on here every day. My man Bogard Scott Freeze repping the GMM Network.
Yeah, it is survival of the healthiest.
We always hear
That's
that.
What it is. I figured it all out. That's what fantasy football is. It's survival of the healthiest.
And paying attention for sure. Got to have your attention on it. And we've always heard that cliche: the best ability is availability. And this week,
zero RB.
Shit, I mean, zero QB now too. So both, because shit, I mean, we're just gonna jump right into this. We're starting off with Aaron Rodgers, tested positive for COVID. He cannot come off the COVID reserve list until November 13th, and it's because apparently he lied about being vaccinated. And I'm sure that he wasn't the only one who lied about being vaccinated. If they're really just taking people's word for anything, that's just stupid as hell for the NFL. And so you would expect things like this to happen. Jordan Love's supposed to start. They signed Blake Bortles to the practice squad because their other backup QB tested positive as well. TD, why don't you just give us your thoughts about everything Aaron Rodgers and the Packers QB sitch right now?
So, just roll out Jordan Love. Don't expect him to be Aaron Rodgers, but he has, if Devontae Adams can come off the COVID list, he could get the ball deep to a Devontae Adams at least once a game. If Devontae don't play, I do like MVS. If he's out, I think he's going to be healthy this year. So, this week. But, hey, man, it's a lot of guys that's lied about this. There's a few other quarterbacks that have lied about this too. But hey, it is what it is. It's just an opportunity. So go try to pick up Jordan Love. I think it's a great play. I think Jordan Love would be starter, but I think he has a floor of 20 points if that's how you're scoring leagues. That's the average points of your quarterbacks. I think he's a safe play.
And Bogart, you're kind of in the matrix over there. You may have to pop out and pop back in. One thing that I forgot to talk about before we get too deep into the show, everyone in here, everyone in Patreon, you guys know Stu, okay? D2W Stu, Dream to Walk Stu. He's having his surgery today, so we just need everyone throwing him some prayers, throwing him some positive vibes. He's had a lot of drama, going on with the hospital because of COVID stuff. They're like not even letting his mom and like dad in to go see him, before he goes into this crazy surgery. And so we got a lot of positive vibes. That's what we need right now. We need a lot of positive vibes for Stu. I think he's already gone into surgery, but if you guys are in Discord, just go check out the video that I posted in there. It's one from him, just kind of giving everyone a little update on his situation. But yeah, he needs all the love he can get from all of us hustlers out here.
Yes, sir. Hey, D. Stu is a great person. He's a better person than he is a fantasy football analyst. And he's I respect his football fantasy analyst position. He's really good at what he does. So, guys, show D. Stu some support. He supports my channel and he supports Hustler. Great guy.
Yep. And Ed Tay said, prayers up, homie. Triple X Lex said, prayers for Stu. Joe Harris said, prayers going up for Stu. Yeah, we need Chandler Brunelli said, prayers up 100. Yeah, we need a lot of positive vibes. I was in the hospital for like a week. This is like 3 months ago at this point. I didn't think that I wasn't going to make it through there. Like, this is something where he's got a lot of things wrong with his heart from diabetes. Like, he had one of his toes amputated, bones taken out from his foot. Like, he's got a lot going on. And so, yeah, there's big time stuff going on. So I just wanted to start the show showing some love to Stu because he's been supporting me since last year, since he found me. And he's always been showing love. So we got to show mad love to him too.
Yes, sir.
All right, and let's see. So Bogart is out of the matrix, but he didn't come along. He brought along the crew, and we got Fantasy Tyrant in the building as well. What up? What up? Oh, dang! There we go.
Hey, give me my Stone Cold. I want my Stone Cold.
I had to put. You guys came in as a crew, so that's why I rocked.
All right, I hear you. It's okay. I'll hang with the NWO. It's all good.
What?
I got the hot rod on now.
There we go. Hell yeah. So you hopped on a little bit right after we were talking about. Well, actually, Bogey. Looks like you're a little bit breaking up, but let's see if you're out of the matrix yet. Give some thoughts about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers before we toss it to Tyrant.
Am I good now?
Think you're okay. Nope, maybe not.
How about now?
Little bit.
I'll pop back in.
Okay, sounds good. Tyrant, what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers testing positive for COVID? Just everything going on with the whole Packers sitch right now.
Well, first of all, I think the most important thing with this is, Aaron Rodgers, get well soon, No, it doesn't matter what you think about the politics of all of it or whatever. To me, it's about someone sick. He needs to get better. I think he will. I think he'll be fine. But as far as this week, obviously he's going to miss this week. We're going to get to see what Jordan Love can do, I guess. The Packers are going to get to see it. We'll get to see it. I think that my thought is most likely they're not going to, they have too much to play for this year to just put it all in Jordan Love's hands. I think we're going to see a lot of Aaron Jones in this game, a lot of A.J. Dillon. I think that I think that's the route they're going to go. A lot of people are worried. I was talking about that earlier, and some people were like, "Oh, yeah, but they're going to stack boxes." Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I think they might try that at first, but Jordan Love, it's not like your grandma's going out there to throw the ball. I mean, he'll be able to be, produce enough to where they're not going to be able to stack the box. But I still think we're going to see a lot of Aaron Jones in this game,
and a lot of Dylan. You already said it. We had Iggy on here.
Yeah.
The IDP Iggy. So now this wasn't last week, but actually it was earlier last week where they talk about how Dylan literally didn't get used in week 7 at all. Or wait, week 7. Yeah, I believe so. I'm getting my weeks all messed up. And he was like, I bet you they did that because they're going to run it all over the Cardinals. And I bet you it's going to be a heavy run game. And it's going to be Jones and Dylan. And what do you know? It fucking was. And I don't think it's going to be a game like that always for Dylan. But right now with no Rodgers, we got to expect a lot of volume for Dylan.
Well, it depends on about the matchups, Hustler. If they playing against a team that's speedy and you want to kind of like Arizona is like a speed defense. AJ Dillon doesn't match up like that. AJ Dillon kills that team because they're too light in the box. So
let's talk about the Chiefs because that's literally the matchup that they're going through this week. So let's talk about the Chiefs.
Exactly. So with the Chiefs, same thing. That's what my point was. They're gonna release them against the Chiefs because they light too. So I think AJ Dillon is for certain teams that if you are a fast defense, okay, we can slow this game down and we also can win it like a Shanahan type coaching tree type guy.
And Bogart, you're still kind of a little bit in the matrix, but let's see if it's all working now.
Okay, how about now?
Good to go.
Okay. My thoughts on Jordan Love is, he's a streaming option. They're playing the Chiefs. And, I know, I would assume they're going to run heavy, both Dylan and Jones. You guys already touched on that. But, they're gonna come down and keep 8 in the box. You know what I mean? They're not going to play a shell defense with 2 high safeties, like a makeshift Tampa 2. Because that's what everyone does against Aaron Rodgers. So when you don't have Aaron Rodgers, you're going to stack the box on him. He's going to be able to rip one down the field here and there. Let's not forget that Jordan Love, he had a lot of hype coming into him, coming out of college. Only thing that stifled his ass was that he ended up sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. Before that, they were trying to compare Jordan Love to being the Patrick Mahomes of that draft class.
And boy, were they fucking wrong.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm pointing this out to say that he does have the attributes to be able to stretch the field. And you're playing against Mahomes, if you can't own time of possession, you're going to be playing from behind a ton. You know what I mean? Because the Chiefs' defense is ass. You know what I mean? Yeah, they got Frank Clark back miraculously. I don't know how he did that. You know what I mean? Hell of a lawyer, right? But he's back out there. So, they do have remnants of some pass rush now, which they didn't have most of the first half of the year. And, if you're going to try to Jordan Love is a guy who can get loose with his legs. So it's going to be interesting to see. Matt LaFleur is a product of Shanahan, like TD just said. And, when you're coming from that coaching family tree, you're kind of arrogant because your scheme works so well that they feel that they could do it with anybody. So if ever there's a matchup that Jordan Love can produce for you in fantasy, and maybe not win this game in reality, but in fantasy, I'm okay with Jordan Love. Like I think I'd play him over Taysom Hill this week.
Yeah, especially Taysom Hill. We don't even know if he's going to be the starter or anything.
And he don't got no weapons neither right now. Like what you know what I mean? I just don't trust outside of Alvin Kamara. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and since you good segue, Bogard. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but worked out really good.
Professional.
There we go. Bogard. He never does anything on accident. There is no coincidences
Ever.
here. And Antonio shouted out a little bit earlier. This is going to be our second topic. Michael Thomas out for the year, and this is one of those the classic case of what is it? A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, or whatever the hell that stupid saying is. Let
me get at this one.
Go ahead, get it.
Am I still? Is my? I don't care if visually I'm matrixy, but is my vocal still cool?
Your vocals are good.
Okay, so now look, he's been playing this thing. This is a finesse job. So he goes ahead right after the season last year. He should have got the surgery. And if you do remember, he never said nothing about needing a surgery. But what he did say was that he wanted to be traded away when Drew Brees retired, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then none of that happens. June comes around. He gets the surgery, fully knowing the timeline's going to put him around right before the trade deadline, which would just passed. And, he was biding his time to see if he can get traded away. He didn't get traded. And even though they're 6-2, I think Jameis going down was like the final nail in the coffin for Thomas, where he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm out of here."
Fuck
you know
that.
what I mean? And this, he picked up the phone and he said, "Who's this?" And he said, "Hey man, it's me, AJ Green." Yeah, man, you don't need to fuck all that shit. He's like, "You right." You know what I mean?
Tyrant, what's your thoughts on Michael Thomas and everything going on there?
Well, personally, I called this at the beginning of this year. After what happened last year, with everything that was going on, I'm like, you know what? I think there's a lot more than just an injury going on. I feel there's just so much going on that we're not being told, that we don't know about, both from Michael Thomas and from the Saints office and everything. I think that this is an ongoing issue, and I think it's going to be a while till we really find out what's actually going on. And I was like, all these people like, hey, you got to pick up and stash Thomas. I'm like, hey, if you got the room, sure, but I'm not sold on it. I felt like this was going to come. I was saying it since like preseason. I was saying it, all year. This is there's a lot more to it than what we're being told.
Because injury aside, there's just drama there.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
TD, what's your thoughts?
They disrespected Mike Thomas, and I don't know how, but he said it. And I'm not going to say I'm going to take his word and say this is the bottom line, but I trust that he felt like he was disrespected. He felt like the Saints tried to push him out there with his ankle injury and didn't care about his health. And like they was trying to ruin his career. So he was like, okay, watch this. And all you got to do is look at his Twitter. He said, he was like, okay, watch this. I got y'all. I see where we stand. I see what y'all doing to me. So I knew something was going on. And I knew by him waiting so late that it was on purpose to get the surgery. So this is all kind of like, you can see this through the evidence of Twitter and everything else. So I agree with Randolph. I forget what's the Fantasy Tyrant. I'm sorry.
And Axel Cushin shouting it out, saying, "Hey, it's Gandalf."
That's why I said it.
Yeah, I heard Gandalf was a hit last week.
Oh yeah, everyone was loving him. They say you need to make regular appearances on the show.
Hey, he might come back. You never know.
Oh, there we go. Got
at least the pipe, right? At least the pipe.
For sure, the pipe. I mean, I think people love that beard though too. Like, not gonna lie, got the pipe and the beard, classic combo right there. And so I didn't draft Michael Thomas anywhere. There was a bunch of people who were drafting him 10th, 11th round, and the more that time went on, it was like the later you could get him. Shout out to my homie Darren, who's probably not watching, who's probably super pissed because he literally drafted Michael Thomas on like every single team because he was so late. Just, I'll take the shot. We got an IR spot, type thing. I drafted him in one league, and it was either the first or second dynasty league that we did. I drafted him in the 4th round because I thought that was a steal. It was literally before every piece of drama came out. It was so early. And I hope he just gets out of New Orleans. And I'm so curious where he's going to go. But now I think that's going to be one of my what if topics for tonight's show. Fantasy Playmakers, 9 p.m. Eastern.
You know who's a curious case? That OBJ, that guy.
So for everyone who doesn't know, let me just say it right now, and then we'll let Bogard chime in. He was fully available and ready to practice today, and the Browns were like, "You're excused from practice. Please go home."
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen,
go ahead, Bogey.
I heard first of all, I think they heard that he's questionable for life. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about his health or his mental health. I'm talking about just his decision making, just his whole aura is questionable, man. And I saw a video where his dad was complaining. And actually, the video was Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless breaking down the video of Odell Beckham Sr. complaining about Baker not throwing his son the ball. And it's so funny.
I forgot he was Odell Beckham Jr. So does he come as his dad? Like, we talk about Will Offler the fifth coming from a long line.
Yeah. He comes from a long line of questionable cats, man. And like, I think the organization they have class enough that they're not going to disclose whatever the issue exactly is with OBJ. But I hear it's bad enough that they're going to cut him.
You got.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. Yeah, you got Odell Beckham Sr. coming out like he's LeVar Ball. Like what? We really need this? Jesus.
Well, this is what I say. It's not Odell Beckham. He is who he is. They should have been traded him. As soon as Baker played good those 4 or 5 games without him, they should have said, "Look, move him now, because this is when his value is high." They just kept keeping him. Now, look, they're gonna have to cut him with no draft capital.
Hold on, he had no value to trade him ever. When they traded for him, like
they did. Here was the only time they had value over the last 3 years. The one game where he played versus the Cowboys last year.
Yeah,
when he balled out.
Wasn't even because of Baker throwing him.
So.
Go
ahead, TD. Bogart's in the Matrix.
Yeah, so I believe that you ain't gonna be able to get 2 first-round picks for him. You can't get, but you could have got a second and a third and moved on from him and got that contract right and let Baker excel. They've been holding Baker back by having him trying to force feed Odell Beckham. That is not Baker's game. Baker is a react. He's like a Kirk Cousins, which Kirk Cousins might be even a little bit better at peppering a single guy like a Thielen or a Justin Jefferson. That is not Baker game. So
and he's definitely got more of a connection with Landry, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Big BS. Big BS shouts out. He says Baker is best throwing to nobodies.
Speaking of which, no, Landry's okay. He's okay.
And Matt L said OBJ could have a resurgence. Who knows? I really don't think it's his fault. I don't think it's his fault either. I think it's just the way he's being schemed, And Matt said either Baker doesn't like him or the chemistry just isn't there. Yeah, and it could totally be a little bit of the both.
I think we've seen that with a ton of other players that are unhappy. They go to a different place. They're happy and they flourish. So who knows? I think for both him and Michael Thomas, that could happen. More likely Michael Thomas, though.
And Axel Cushin said, wait, don't compare Baker to Cousins. That's disrespect. And Odell Sr. didn't have to do that, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what anybody, they're grown men. They don't need anyone coming to their defense.
I disagree, guys. And let me tell you this real quick because this is very important. Y'all probably had your fathers in your life. And And so I would love to have my father be like Ball's father or be like Obey, because he can say things that I can't. And you see, Archie said things for Eli. Nobody said nothing about that. What did Archie say when he wanted to go, when he didn't want to go to the San Diego Chargers? And Archie said, no, my son is not going there. Eli said, what you talking about? I go anywhere. So you gotta, it's okay for a father to pick his spots. Ball could have maybe did a little bit too much, but it's okay for
I was mainly joking. I just wanted to make fun of LeVar Ball. That's all.
Okay.
Well, and I'm not saying that that's not a good thing as far as like, maybe OBJ's, concerned. Like my dad was around, but my dad was definitely not involved in anything sports wise or anything like that, So yeah, from like a person standpoint, I'm sure that that's good. I just mean from like a professional standpoint, it always never comes out the way that you want it to. And it usually ends up screwing the player over, in some way or form. Who knows?
But yeah, mad love for dads who come out and say things for their side. I've got a son who's 18. If someone was talking shit about my kid, you're damn right I'd come out and say something.
Yep.
Real quick.
Yep.
I guess it's the delivery. That's probably what's most important about anything.
How old is Larry Fitzgerald right now?
40.
No,
let me see. How old is he?
His dad was tripping off of them not throwing him the ball enough. This was like a couple years ago.
He's 38. He's 38 right now.
So he was so mind you, he was probably like a 36-year-old Larry Fitzgerald, and his dad was getting on Twitter and complaining about how they ain't throwing him the rock enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the parent thing, right? And like, let's be honest, like. I became my dad at one point where like I feel like I'm trying to give them sound advice, but it's always going to come off as condescending because I'm the parent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so we got a couple things out of the Cowboys camp. So Tyron Smith not going to practice today, and they're already saying he's unlikely to play on Sunday. So not looking good for their line. That's still just in shambles. Amari Cooper was limited. Dak Prescott limited, so he's kind of trending in the right direction at least. Blake Jarwin won't practice, and they're hopeful that Gallup can actually play on Sunday. TD, Cowboys are your squad. Chime in on all the injuries and just what you expect from them this week.
So like I said, we trying to go to the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. Tyron Smith, if it was a playoff game, he probably could play, but we don't need him. This is one of the best teams we had, and the reason why I say that is because like we could sit starters out. That could have probably played, but why would you play him? We good. We got this division. We good. So you still roll out your guys. Amari Cooper is always limited. I was about to say, I was gonna make a joke. I was like, Amari limited? Like that's Amari limited Cooper. That's what he is. He doesn't practice. So yeah, you roll out these Cowboys, but you make sure Dak, I'm pretty sure Dak is gonna play this week. So you roll out those receivers and you don't even think about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I ain't gonna lie. It's really dangerous and fun at the same time. But in deeper leagues, I've been rolling out Cedric, hey, Mr. Wilson. I swear to God, every time on this show, I'm always saying take a flyer on him with no Gallup because Gallup has a solid role. And when he's not there, Cedric, hey, Mr. Wilson's been getting those targets, man.
That's
That
for
might
sure.
not be much, but they've been paying off. When you're looking for a WR4, he's coming through.
Cedric gonna get a big contract from somebody else. He's a nice player.
He's been around for a cool minute. I don't know about a nice contract. I think he'll be good depth somewhere, and more than likely, I think he just comes back because he'll be the guy that'll stay for cheap while Gallup tries to go on and gallop elsewhere. Pun intended. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's the new TV deals coming in, so there's gonna be a lot of big contracts like you seen from the NBA where these guys wasn't that good, but they still was getting like $100 million. I feel like Cedric Wilson probably could get $15 million out of a team.
What do you mean that? What do you mean? The NFL's been doing that. I mean, look at guys.
No, it's a new deal.
I'm just making a joke that people.
Okay.
People that don't deserve to get paid, they get.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot more ridiculous though. After this new TV deal gets signed, that's for sure. All right, some news out of the Giants practice. Few things here. So Sterling Shepard, they're saying he's gonna miss some time with his quad strain that he suffered on Monday. So I think he's droppable. They're probably gonna put him IR. If they say he's gonna miss some time, I'm assuming at least 3 weeks. And then you have Saquon Barkley, who they talk about.
Oh,
COVID. I got to look and see if he officially tested positive, but he's vaccinated, and they said in either way. So even if he did test positive, he only needs the 2 tests.
But here's the thing: before all this, I didn't think Saquon was finna play because their bye week is next week. I think, you know what I mean?
And
Yeah,
there's a few players. I'm trying to look to see the list of players that also.
It was like 11. It was like 11 Giants that is on the COVID protocol.
TD, it's up to 13. I checked like right before.
Okay.
Xavier McKinney is one of them. So there's a starter.
Who the Giants playing this week?
Giants guy.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Raiders. The Faders.
Oh, I'm already streaming the defense against them. But like, listen, man, Brian Edwards, whoever is gonna be, who do you think is gonna be the deep play? Zay Jones. Like, someone's gonna pop a big one with no Henry Ruggs there. Someone's popping a big one on the Giants defense.
Elwoods, probably Brian Elwoods.
Yeah, he's definitely more of the replacement for Ruggs. Renfro's going to do the same shit that he always does, and I think it's going to be a lot more Edwards, who a lot of us have been clamoring for since last season. Yeah, so I'm excited for him.
I'm excited for Edwards too, because Edwards he's an ex receiver. Like, you know, like we saw Tyrell the Gazelle Williams have decent outings with Derek Carr many moons ago. And Brian Edwards was the guy they drafted to be the guy that'll take that role, because they don't really have an ex receiver there. Like look at what Michael Pittman does for the Colts. That's what I envision Brian Edwards could be now with no Ruggs, and the focal point is still going to be Darren Waller. You know what I mean? So that could tremendously help Brian Edwards. He's not going to draw number one coverage. That's one of the instances where they put their best coverage on Waller. You know what I mean?
And Darren Waller is back at practice. Just an FYI, another piece of news.
Yeah. If I'm the Darren Waller guy, I'm looking out for Foster Moreau. I'm gonna swoop him up and just keep him close. Keep him close. You know what I mean?
Let's switch it over to the Panthers. So CMC expected to be designated to return from IR. It's not official yet. Out at practice, they said he was super limited. So I said more news is going to come tomorrow. And Sam Darnold didn't practice either. He's in concussion protocol right now. So
Sam Darnold.
What's today? Today's Wednesday. If you get in a limited by Friday, he's not going to play, because that's really all you need. You need to get into a limited. Then by Saturday, you got to clear the team. You got to clear the team neurologist. Then they send you on to the league neurologist. You know what I mean?
And actually, this next piece that I saw from a different beat writer, I said PJ Walker got all the first team reps at practice. Sam Darnold was extremely limited, so he did get out there in some capacity. It just wasn't much.
So he's on pace. But Sam Darnold, I bet you Sam Darnold might be real confused lately, because he's getting knocked around, and then he looks around and he's in Gillette Stadium, and he's like, "What?" And they're like, "No, you're just playing against the Giants, bro." Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just real confused. Like, he got hit, he got beat up the other week. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm playing the Patriots." Like, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm playing the Patriots this week. Like, he's just really confused right now. He doesn't realize what's going on.
Seeing those ghosts again, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and I like PJ Walker. PJ Walker was it Temple? Where did he come from?
Temple with Matt Rule.
Oh,
and
shit.
Robbie Anderson. And Robbie Anderson.
He was over there with Rule and the string bean.
Wait. He played with the string bean? You think they got any kind of connection to where Robbie Anderson's going to get more than like 0 points like he gets for us every other week?
Well, he got to catch it first.
I mean, I don't know, man. The string bean, he got destroyed last week too, didn't he? I mean, he's only made, but he made with number of strings and beans, man. He
leads the league in drops still. Like, man, that's not a stat you want to be leading in.
But you know what? He might lead the league in drops, but he sure as hell picked up that bag before this. You know what I'm saying? He got paid, and all of a sudden he don't remember how to catch the ball.
Some news on for Thursday's game that just came in. So, well, T.Y. Hilton, we already know he's out, but Kyrie Willis is also out, calf injury, and then Quentin Nelson, extremely questionable with that toe issue. Tyrant, what do you think about the Colts being all banged up? One of their best offensive linemen and wide receiver, and one of their top DBs now.
Well, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher maybe for JT to get some yardage, but I think he's going to be fine. Honestly, I think what's probably going to happen is we're going to see a lot more of just the connection we've been seeing between Wentz and Pittman. With T.Y. Hilton out, I mean he's gonna. No one else is there to eat up those targets. We've been seeing that love going on there. I made a little joke about it on my show last week, talking about like the meme of the distracted boyfriend, right? And I was like, yeah, he's looking at T.Y. Hilton. Well, now we don't got to worry about that, all right? It's just the two of them. They're gonna have their little love connection. It's gonna be all good. I like Pittman a lot. Of course, this week and going forward. But I mean, I'm not too worried about the running. JT is going to get his. Hines hasn't been getting all that much this season. So I think it's going to be all Taylor and all Pittman, honestly.
Needs a negative game script for Hines. So I don't think we see too much of him this week either. But I do want to say that Carson Wentz about 4, 5, 7, 11 times a game, he's trying to throw the game away, right? The Jets, they're coached by Robert Saleh. They're very opportunistic. They don't let those slip ups happen too much. They're going to capitalize on that shit. They're going to get some turnovers on sloppy ass Carson Wentz. I do like the Colts to win this game, but I think the Jets and White Mike, aka the Great White Hope, Matt White himself, or I'm sorry, Mike White himself. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna get out there and try to ball. Like, these guys. These backups that get their opportunity, they're fun to watch to me, man, because they're gonna do their best. And listen, the Colts, they're like an above average team, I'd say. You know what I mean? But this is the type of game that they could lose. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're gonna lose this game, but like on a short week, like all the here, not too much film.
I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. But I mean, as far as Wentz goes, yeah, I mean, of course he's gonna be vintage Carson Wentz this week. I mean, I really feel like he will. But if you remember, like last season when he was like putting up interceptions and shit, he was still putting up serviceable games.
Last year, what's funny with Jalen Hurts is that's how I felt about watching Wentz last year on Philly. You just don't. You'll get fantasy, you know what I mean? But here's another thing I want to talk about. You see the way you see the way Michael Carter's eating.
Yeah, Daddy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They're just checking the ball down to him, letting him do the rest. I mean, it's that Shanahan scheme. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It opens up lanes in that zone scheme for the running back to eat up yards after the catch, etc. Here's the one thing that I think is that they need their weakest point is their secondary, because their linebackers, everything over the middle, they close in on that zone really fast. They got speedy linebackers there. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing. If Mike White, a.k.a. White Mike, the Great White Hope, can't get off down the field, it's going to be a long day. And you could throw everything else I said out the window, and the Colts will just come out here and smack. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
Yeah, I just believe the Colts smell blood in the water. They got a dub last week. And by them getting a dub last week, that's very dangerous for a Carson Wentz-led team. They may have turned the ball over. So if Carson Wentz doesn't turn the ball over and they jump out on the Jets, then they can beat them. But if they go and this is a close game in the first half, they might be in trouble because this team is very optimistic. They got Rob Saleh, so they're young and they don't know. So I feel like they could go and win this game. I'm actually a little nervous about playing Carson Wentz.
And Antonio said the Mike White jersey from last week made it to the Hall of Fame. First time any Jets item made it there in a minute.
Hey, that's awesome, bro. That's really dope, actually, because I mean, you know who's really hot about that is Joe Namath. He's like, what? What did they put in my in my exhibit. He's like, that the Jets exhibit is mine. It's like Joe Namath jersey, and then like what's his name? The running back, bro, Curtis
Martin.
Curtis Martin, yeah.
Curtis Martin, yeah.
What else you got there? Maybe LT's helmet or some shit. You know what I mean? And now you got the great white hope, White Mike. His jersey made it. I love it.
There you go. And Bogart, we'll throw it back to you for some 49ers stuff. Nan Daddy said Elijah Mitchell did not practice. It's a Wednesday, though. That's what we remind everybody, at least on Wednesday, but he's dealing with the rib issue. And then Debo not going today at practice either. But, I mean, Debo, I don't know if he's practiced on Wednesday since week 2 or something.
Man, if anybody tries to tell Debo to practice, he just snatches that clipboard out their hand. You know what I mean? Snatches the chain off, snatches the headset off their head. You know what I mean? Now, listen, I'm not worried about Debo. I mean, come on, man. You're talking to a 49er, bro. We're always hurt. This is like, we're actually in good shape right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is like best shape.
Compared to last year, yeah.
Listen, and then you got guys like Elijah Mitchell, who they're giving a real workload to, like 15, 17 touches a game. You know what I mean? I think I'm not worried about this unless he doesn't practice on a Friday. Then
that's what you got to worry about.
Yeah, because
I think he's fine. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, and I mean, if anything, I'm going to worry about like how this could open the doors for like a Jeff Wilson to come back. You know what I mean? And really, because Jeff Wilson's going to come back eventually. But what we want is when he comes back, for all us Elijah Mitchell guys, you got Elijah Mitchell who has a stranglehold job. But if he's not healthy, he could that job's up for grabs. You know what I mean? I will say right now, if you can, I'd probably sell high on Elijah Mitchell. Or not even sell high. I'd probably sell for something I need. You know what I mean? Because if you have Elijah Mitchell, you probably got him off the waivers, or you got him in some package trade deal, or whatever. However you acquired him, I'm pretty sure you didn't draft him, so he's like your third or fourth running back, more than likely. You know what I mean?
And we're going to be jumping around a lot since we got a few more topics to cover before we get out of here. But AJ Green just right now got added to the COVID reserve list as well. No news about that other than it just happened. And going back to the Giants, so 13 players were the ones who were tested yesterday, and then all 13 retested today, and only one positive was the RB coach. What's his name? Burton Burns. Outside of that, Barkley, Matt Skura, and Xavier McKinney missed practice. But I believe the way that this is all worded is that nobody else tested positive. And AJ Green, they mentioned that he played the Packers last week, and that's one of the reasons why he got added to that list. So I wonder what other Cardinals we're going to see popping up here. Kyler Murray did not practice today, and Kingsbury already said came out and said regardless of practice, he can still play on Sunday, or still be able to play on Sunday.
You know what else is interesting here is if the Chiefs play popping up with it, right? I mean, actually, no, you said only one person came back out of 13 from the Giants?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good. Damn, because, man, that Rona that's going around Arizona, it must be some shit, bro. You know what I mean? Because I think, like, even Buddy from the Fantasy Footballers had it or some shit, too. I'm like, it's just going around out there in Arizona, bro.
His son was sick.
Oh, that's what it was?
And Andy Holloway's son, right?
Yeah, it's bad. He's sick. It's bad. Like, it wasn't bad, but it's enough for him that he couldn't go to work.
Yeah. Man, I know that's scary. That's a scary feeling, bro. I mean, my kids, they had a cold. I kept them home for a couple of days. Got them to get COVID tested because, you never know. You know what I mean? And thank God they came back negative. And then I sent their ass right back to school. All right, you're on your way. I'm like, it's time to go back.
So, yeah, we'll keep you guys updated, but that's why you guys just need to tap in for the news show Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. And let's see some other news. Let's see. Dawson Knox, he's not practicing today. We're not going to talk about that too much, but just tap in for all this practice news. And let's see what else we got here. So Taysom Hill was practicing today. I believe it was just limited capacity, but he might be getting ready to come back. James Robinson did not practice. They still say that he's day-to-day as well. Tua was limited, ribs and left finger. And 1 million people were limited for the Texans. We don't really care about that. One thing that they did say about James Robinson, actually, that's pretty much the end of the news. We'll talk about some other stuff real quick before we get out of here, is that James Robinson did make some big strides yesterday towards playing. So I don't know what exactly that means. Maybe it just entails him running.
I know exactly what it means, bruh, because it's a heel injury, and he was walking. He was making some big strides.
And he was striding farther, making strides farther than he could the day before.
Striding. Big ones.
I say the best one. Go ahead.
He's gonna be fine. His heel just needs to heal. So
I like
that's all. That's all it is. And no, I was reading a bunch on this actually, and I was looking up, the fantasy doctors and stuff like that, seeing what they were saying about it. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if it's like a surface bruise, I mean, it could be a few days, could be a week. He could possibly miss this week, but and he's definitely would be back after that. However, it's a bone bruise, or a deep bone bruise, could be something different. It sounds like it's more of a surface thing. So it sounds like if he could miss this week at the most, it sounds like to me.
And they really just they said they're going to play it safe and not risk the long term, of his health based on one game. So
they're at least going to hold it out for practice, if not,
And that's all we can ask for in the fantasy football world. We don't want him to come and then get injured during the game. We'd rather him wait a week, even 2 weeks, if that's what it takes for him to get back to as close to 100% as he doesn't, re-aggravate it during the game.
Exactly.
and I saved. It looked like Bogard was doing some backflips over there.
Oh yeah, I'm just.
So I saved the best piece of news for last because Bogart loves talking about Will Fuller and the Dolphins. They are confident that he will be back this week. He is still week to week, but they doubled down. Started the interview saying how confident they are that he's going to be back. Finished the interview off with saying we are very confident that he is going to be back.
Hey, listen. Don't be bamboozled by his name. They weren't even talking about the right guy. Who is Will Fuller? He's Will Awfuller. Don't ever try. Listen, if you got him, cut him. Use this information to trade him away then. And
he's got Tua likes Waddle, Tua likes Parker. He's not throwing way downfield this season, which is what Fuller does. At that point, Fuller's useless.
I thought they probably thought they was going to get Deshaun Watson, and that's why they picked up Fuller. That's the only reason. Fuller and Deshaun Watson, Fuller and Watson got a great chemistry.
Oh yeah,
because they got him for cheap, right? Wasn't it like just $8 million for the year?
Yeah, well, everybody wants that new deal for next year, so he took a one-year deal.
They got him for $7 and a Cuban sandwich.
So Will Fuller is going to be the definite test of how much the TV deals make a difference. Because if he's not paired up somewhere with Deshaun Watson and he gets more than $8 million, per year or whatever, that just shows that the TV deal is real and everyone's getting pay increases. Because he's about to be horrible the whole time. All right. That's pretty much it on the news. We're going to get to some questions here in a second. Before we do, I got to remind everybody about Super Draft Pro. It is a new daily fantasy football platform. It is really dope, mainly because it's so brand new that there's not as many sharks as there is on DraftKings right now. Get in right now. You can go on there and play for free. I'm going to throw the link in the chat.
Wait a minute though, Hustler. What you mean by the link? Did that mean if my guys sign up on the link, they're gonna be under your provision thing or whatever?
Yeah. So I'm throwing the link in my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah. So the link, at least as far as right now, is in my YouTube channel on Fantasy Football Hustler. I mean, pretty much everyone on this show is gonna have their own links here in a day or two. So just hold off and make sure you get signed up with your favorite fantasy content creator, because there's going to be a bunch of stuff going down in the daily fantasy world. It's not just football, but they have the NFL. They got college football. They did have the MLB, but the World Series is over now. So, that'll be back when the season comes back around. But you got basketball. They're going to have the big three as well. They're one of the huge advertisers and sponsors of the company. And the biggest sponsor right now of the company is Caesars Entertainment. So that is the Caesars Casino. If you guys don't know, they threw $30 million at this project to attach their name to one fantasy football company, and it's Super Draft Pro. So check out this commercial. I'm going to go get my water refilled, and we'll be back in a second.
In a world where hope was fading and isolation was growing between friends, family, and fun, and people began to yearn for a better way to earn.
Okay, we've had enough drama in recent history. It's time to reconnect, kick off the game, and play to win cash and prizes. SuperDraft Pro is the official fantasy partner of Caesars Entertainment. Yes, that's Caesars. This isn't your grandmother's bingo night. Imagine the exciting chance opportunity of Las Vegas, only bigger, in the palm of your hand. And imagine the energy of the crowd and the love of your favorite game, connecting you and literally every single person you know playing daily fantasy sports, all while getting paid. This is SuperDraft Pro, and you can stop imagining. Experience it for yourself. Simply download the SuperDraft app and sign up by creating an account. Be a player, or be a coach building teams of players with a range of membership packages that suit your level of interest. And guess what? We know, and you probably know too, that this is a multi-billion-dollar industry with roughly 60 million people playing in North America alone. So, what's new or different about the SuperDraft Pro that's actually a game changer? That's an easy answer. And I literally mean easy. The SuperDraft app is super user-friendly, so playing is easy. So when you play, your chances to win can be easier than other traditional fantasy sports games. It's also set up to level the playing field with our exclusive patent-pending games, which allow you to pick the players you like and the players you trust. This is your draft, your way. See? This really is changing how the game is played. And it's even a game changer for business, because not only can you get paid to play, you can get paid when other people play when you become a SuperDraft promoter by sharing the app. Making money doesn't have to be a grind. Turn your business based at home into your home-based playground, getting paid to play, having fun, wherever you are. Because this virtual model is high speed and low drag, SuperDraft Pro plans to eventually capture the imagination of the world by going global with a simple, proven business that never sleeps. Join the fun. Play, get paid, and tell everybody. Download the SuperDraft and Sportsbook app today. Available on iOS and Android.
SuperDraft Pro, rated F, UN.
Okay, that's enough. You're done.
So there we go. There's a little bit of it in a nutshell right there. And I don't know if you saw some of the people like Kyler Murray rocking the SuperDraft jersey. Like, there's some big names that are attached to this company. Really, really exciting stuff. The dopest thing that I like about it, so there's it's legal in all 50 states. So no matter where you are in the country and in Canada, it's 100% legal. The way that they're able to do that is with the subscriptions. So you pay $20, $50, or $100. Get on the $100 plan. Those are the highest paying out contests. It's $25 a week. And even if you only play football, you get 4 contests on Thursday, on Sunday, and on Monday. So even if you only play NFL, and you're going to be in all the highest paid contests. And yeah, JC Money Design said, go get signed up. I took first place the second day that he played. And that was an NBA. And it's because even for NBA, they do it a little bit easier. If you guys seen it on social media, those posts where it's like you get $15, choose 5 players. That's one of the layouts that they have for their game. It's super easy. And it's like 5 players on each dollar amount. So you got the $5 tier, the $4 tier, $3 tier, $2 tier, $1 tier. You just mix and match, use your $15. You get any player that you want within those tiers on there. And then Thursday, Monday, you got the traditional like games where you have the champions. You pick 5 players, but you can pick any player, no salary cap.
Oh,
that's the dope thing too.
The champion is instead of captain, right? That's their version of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So they have multipliers instead of a salary cap. So you can pick anybody that you want. And just imagine the cheaper players, those are the ones who have higher multipliers. Like I believe on Monday night, Booker, his multiplier was 3.3 if you had him in there as the champion, I believe.
I wonder what Mike White multiplier was last week.
Well, tomorrow I'll tell people what his multiplier is going to be on this one, but you already know that he is so low on that totem pole. Like, I mean, it's got to be over 2, like for sure.
Yeah, probably was like 6 times the money or something for last week. And so whoever had him, they won a bunch of money.
I think the highest is like 3.3, right? Is that the highest?
Okay.
No, there's more. I mean, I've seen it. But we're talking very, very bottom of the barrel on there. I think there's some guys who might get into the 4s and maybe the 4 point something. But I don't think it goes up to 5. I think it caps at 4 something.
Like if you didn't start with Kyle Rudolph last week, he got that 1 touchdown. He probably paid times 4, so that's like 24. Okay. If it was 4.4, right? So that's 24. That's 27.6 points right there on the
Yeah, you get that multiplier and you get 1 touchdown scored. I mean, that's scoring 3 touchdowns, if it's a 3 multiplier or whatever. So that's what's dope about it. They're going to be getting into all sports. So right now, baseball just got over, so they don't have that anymore, but they will. But NBA, MLB, or will have MLB,
NASCAR,
college football, NFL football, NASCAR, like TD just said, they're getting ready to add soccer. I think that's going to be like right in the beginning of 2022. So they're taking it to global levels with all of this.
Bro, I heard they're doing WWE too. Is that
WWE true? Is going to be on there as well.
Wow. That is crazy. That's awesome, actually. That's going to get a lot of people
in. That's crazy because, man, the shit is kayfabe, in the ring. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you already know the finish, like, half the time. Like, you might not know the road to get to the finish, but you know what I mean?
And it's probably going to be, the way that all these other, maybe it's one of those ones where it's like a $15 thing. You pick your tiers, people that you think are going to win. I'm curious of how that one's going to be. Maybe it's just picking
length of matches.
It could be. There's so many different variables. It could be a lot of different things.
By pinfall, by submission, you know what I mean? I guess there's that.
So that's why we all got to get in on this, like right now. Like everything, like it just started. We're like literally on the ground floor. Like the contests, the highest paying out contests probably have some of the lowest amount of people that are actually in these contests because not everyone's getting on the $100 tier. Like a lot of people are on that $20, that $50. You get into the $100, it may be more serious people, but you're talking about hundreds of people in a contest, maybe 1,000 people, maybe a few thousand in certain contests, but there's a lot of money going around. It's really like you got a shot to actually not win hundreds of thousands, but it's going to be there one day. I already know it is. It's going to get huge. Tell them, Hollywood, definitely get on that. Shit's going to be fun. I'm throwing my link in again. So if it's on my channel, Fantasy Football Hustler, Bogard already has a link. We're just going to figure out what that is. So he's going to have a link for everyone. And
in true Bogard fashion, I've been able to set up my link, and I usually wait for a week to lag, right? And I'm like I done signed up like the next day. So it's like tomorrow's like a week ago. You know what I mean? For real. He's like, go through your emails and find the email. I'm like, shit. And I got like a handful of people that want to sign up already. So I'm catting right now.
Yeah. Bogart's slacking in his macking. We're going to get it though. But yeah, everyone here should be having their own link pretty soon. This is going to be huge. And we're going to take this to the next level together as a team.
Also, guys, and he didn't tell you about this, they got private tournaments. So if you wanted to play me like in how they do listener leagues, if you want to play against me, we can do that. I can actually send you a link and we can get into it. We all can go on the same link and play against each other. Up to how many people, Hustler? Is it 12?
Whatever it is right now, it's going to be growing because it's going to end up being where we can get as many people in as we want. And we can host like maybe it's not even like money through the site, but we can have it to where top 3, win a jersey or something like that. Like we can make it like really dope contest where we're really getting our whole community, all of our communities really involved in a big ass cool tournament.
Okay. So
Or
we can
contest.
we all could put up $5 and compete against each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So the same way that they do those kind of things on DraftKings, yep, you can do it there. And this one's actually, it's more like social media as far as like the way they're trying to build it. Cause like when your friends join, like you're able to see it and like add them as a friend, see what kind of contest they're in and things like that. Like they're actually working towards a thing right now where when you refer people, and if one of the people that you refer takes like top spot, you get a piece of that for like referring them because they want to have it. It's not in play yet. It's about to be because they want you to tell your friends, not keep it a secret.
Yeah, for real.
So that's what it's all about. So a lot of shit going. And yeah, JC Money Design saying it right there. 2022, there's going to be an online casino as well where you're playing a subscription based thing for the month, but you're able to win money playing in these free contests.
Right. Give me money.
Dope stuff. All right, we're getting to these questions now. Let's get through a handful of these before we get out of here. Let me see. Trying to go back a little bit here. And sorry if I miss you. Just throw it back in there because there's a grip of questions in here, and I know me and TD have been trying to answer questions the best that we can as well. All right, here we go. Dylan said, should I trade McLaurin and Michael Carter for Stephon Diggs, half PPR? Rest of my roster is Brady, Kamara, Swift, Judy, Waller, Bateman, Green, Javonte Williams.
I'm not mad at that trade. That's a classic Bogard trade right there. But like, and because you know what too, I haven't seen the Michael Carter thing with Zach Wilson. I've seen it with the Great White Hope, however. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know if it just goes away when Zach Wilson comes back. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take that and bring me back Stephon Diggs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say,
I honestly, I don't like that trade. I think that Scary Terry is gonna get better for him as the season progresses. Because remember, you got Fitzmagic coming back at some point, and then on top of that, you're looking at Michael Carter. He's a rookie. He's had to acclimate to the NFL. He's done it. He's doing it. He's putting it. He's doing what we've been asking him to do. What we've been hoping he would do. And I think I don't think it's going to change when Wilson comes back. Personally, so I really like the other side of that. We haven't seen it as much from Stephon Diggs as we did like last season. I'm not saying that that's going to be how it's going to go the rest of the season. I mean, I know that the Allen Diggs connection is for real, but and they've just a lot of defenses have been trying to key in on that to try to stop that from going down, and that's why he's been passing more to Sanders. He's been passing to Beasley, and things like that. But it doesn't mean I don't think Stephon Diggs is great to get. It's not like a horrible trade. I just prefer the other side of that personally.
Go ahead, TD. Hold on, Bogey. Let's just go. Let's round robin it, and then we'll get to the next question.
I say just do McLaurin straight up for Stephon Diggs. Leave Michael. Why you got Michael Carter in there, bro? You got the sauce. I see a lot of people sometimes they just cause a guy go off. Oh, well, I can trade him because it's only one time. But listen, bro, would you trade Cam Akers last year if he didn't went off after the first game? No, that was a type of league-winning type player. So I would leave Michael Carter out, but I get why you're trying to trade McLaurin. I would try to do something else, maybe Waller and McLaurin for Stephon Diggs or something if you have a backup tight end. But I would not get rid of Michael Carter.
That's too much.
I'm gonna hold. I'm going to hold on this. I just feel like McLaurin plus Michael Carter probably going to be starters for you in a lot of weeks. That's why I would say hold because you're trading two starters for one. Love Stephon Diggs, but whoever has Stephon Diggs right now, other than the name, you can't really trade him off the production. So I would be trying – if I'm getting Stephon Diggs, it's going to be for the low, at least lower than what he would be worth. This is a little bit too even for me.
Here's another thing I just want to add in. I don't like Matt Ryan. I mean, what's his name? Ryan Fitzpatrick coming back. We ain't seen it. You know what I mean? I don't like Michael Carter wasn't even with Zach Wilson. That's why I'm moving on. I like the schedule the rest of the way for the Bills. You know what I mean? Let's go. I'm taking that trade all day.
Let's see. Potential trade here from Jared. He says, AB and DJ Moore for Hopkins and Brandon Cooks. Well, I hate trades like this. So I'm just gonna say no, don't even do it. Let's round robin. Just give a yes or no. Would you make this trade? I'm assuming he has the AB and DJ Moore side.
It's a negative. I'm a hold.
Tyrant?
No.
TD?
No.
I'm probably being disingenuous, but I'm gonna say no. I don't know what your rest of your team looks like, but I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely there's a lot that depends on it. But I mean, honestly, I like AB when he comes back. I like DJ Moore has been, last year we were seeing a lot more Robbie Anderson for some reason. And this year we're seeing a lot more DJ Moore. So I think I would stick with that. And Hopkins is that he's not getting enough targets because there's too many people to throw to. So yeah, I have to stick with AB and DJ.
And he's also Hopkins has an injury too. He has a hamstring injury.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's see here.
And Brandon Cooks is on the Texans.
Yep.
Parker said my wide receivers suck. I was banking on MT coming back soon. Damn. Now I'm starting Michael Williams, Bateman, and Mooney. At least I have Dalvin and Kamara to keep me happy. Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, the MT, that's going to hurt a lot of people who've been holding on to him for 8 weeks now.
Didn't really hurt as long as you didn't get him. Like, I mean, you know how many 8th and 9th round, even 10th round, 8th, 9th, 10th round guys I drafted, and I'll cut their ass so quick. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like that. It's kind of like a guy you waited for to blow up and it never blew up. Like we do that with rookie receivers all the time. So I mean, and if you've been making it this far, you shouldn't really feel it. And
well, I'm personally thinking though, if I'm wondering what else he might have at running back, because if he has like another third running back that's actually pretty decent, he might actually trade either Kamara or Cook and get a good wide receiver back to shore up that wide receiver core there.
Well, and that's why really when it comes to the trade talk, we answer these in a vacuum, but we'll shout out all of our platforms real quick because that's the way that if you go, sign up wherever, you can with all of us, and we're going to shout out where you could do that. You're going to get a lot more one-on-one help where we're going to know exactly what you got going on. We're going to be able to tell you exactly what you should do versus kind of give you a yes or no kind of just in a vacuum with here, so mine, you just go to patreon.com/FFHustler420. You want to get on the superstar tier or higher, then you'll get direct DM access to me. You'll get into the Discord chat that we do as well. And you'll be able to send me your lineup and a whole bunch of things. I'll lace you up. Let's just put it that way, especially with the trades. TD, let everyone know where to sign up with you.
Guys, go to OnlyFans. Listen, I'm not taking off my clothes. It's actually fantasy football content. Yes. So listen, go to my OnlyFans and post your lineups. I don't really like answering questions in a vacuum because you can say, well, should I trade this player for that player? But I don't know what kind of depth you have. So when I can assess your team from bottom to top or top to bottom, then I can give you a better answer as far as trade values, who you should be looking for in the waiver wire. So yes, go to OnlyFans, guys. It's only $10 a month. Listen, if you subscribe now, you have $10 a month for a lifetime. But listen, as my channel grow and I get more busy, that price is going to raise. So if you can get in there for $10, I think it's better for you. And that way you don't have to be paying $20 a month or whatever. And you're getting all your questions answered too on those platforms.
And Tyrant, tell them where to go subscribe to you.
Hey, yeah. Well, first of all, check me out on YouTube, Fantasy Tyrant, if you haven't already. Otherwise, I'm on Patreon as well. Patreon.com/Fantasy Tyrant. Go on there. I'm actually giving it away cheap right now, $5 a month, and you can get one-on-one access. I'll answer all your questions about, who to sit, who to start, who to trade, what to have for dinner, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll answer your questions. It's okay.
Yep.
You go up to $10. We can do, some actual, there's Zoom calls and things like that, or a phone call. If you're old school, you want to go phone, that's cool. I'll do that too. So, hit me up on, the Fantasy Tyrant on Patreon there. If you come on to my shows, check it out on YouTube. I'll have a link down there as well. But, so it's like T was saying, man, when answer questions like that, it can't be in a vacuum. There's so many variables and you got a lot of them, and I'll give you the time and the attention to those variables to let you know exactly what you got to do. So yeah, hit me up there.
There we go. And Steven, what up, bro? Good looking on the super chat. Got you marked down for that extra entry into the Darius Leonard signed jersey giveaway. He said, should I pick up Hyde and drop Latavius Murray just in case? And also, how do you feel about Parker this week and Boston Scott? So I would say I'd rather have, I'm assuming that you have James Robinson, if that's what you mean. And yeah, I would do that because Murray's whatever. I mean, at this point. So yeah, pick up Hyde.
Who the Ravens playing?
So the Ravens play the Vikings.
Okay. Because, like, I mean, damn. I keep wanting to think they're still going to run the ball. Never mind. Yeah, go with that. I mean, Latavius Murray's actually a guy I was picking up in the during the bye weeks. Like, people were dropping him. Like, you know, he was the lead guy there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And just saying, with the landscape of running backs, you know what I mean?
And then last piece here. How do you feel about Parker and Boston Scott this week? In the leagues where I picked them up, they have been inserted into my lineup to start.
Yeah.
It all depends on what you got starting, bro. What kind of team you have? I have a team where I didn't do a waiver wire pickup this week because none of these guys could break my starting lineup. They even make me drop a player to pick them up. So Parker and Boston Scott, I didn't go after them. But if you got some buys and stuff, or you have some RBs that aren't getting it done, then yes, you can pick up Boston Scott. And Parker is a good streamable wide receiver. He's better than a lot of wide receivers.
Play Houston.
Well, that's a good point, though, T. Because I mean, that's what I try to tell my fans too. Like they'll come on. I'll say, hey, I really like Boston Scott, and they go, okay, well, I'm gonna drop, whatever. Well, they'll just say,
Albert, come on,
Najee Harris or some shit, for Boston Scott. I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do something stupid like that. But definitely, ask us one-on-one. Who show us our lineup. Like sign up with us on Patreon. Show us your lineup. We'll tell you exactly who you can drop and who not to drop.
Yep.
Because a lot of times when we talk about waiver wire pickups, things like that, we talk about guys who are readily available in a lot of these leagues, not a bunch of guys who are probably already rostered in these leagues. And so when we talk about picking people up and inserting, I know a lot of us just play in deep leagues. I mean, some of the leagues that I'm in right now, we have 19 starters. We have 50 total roster spots, for our dynasty. And then we got 12-team leagues where we got like 7 guys on the bench and we have like 4 flexes, including a super flex. So yeah, we play in some deep leagues. And damn it, Antonio throwing out some news here. Montez Sweat may miss up to a month. Man. So that's the defensive end on the opposite side of Chase Young, for those who don't know, on the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
And Antonio shouted out a question for Gandalf. He said, what should I have for dinner, Mr. Gandalf the Great? He lives in New York.
Well, if you live in New York, then I definitely recommend any street corner pizza that you can find. Don't go to Sbarro when you can go to your street corner pizza where the dough is made with that fantastic water. And that is my recommendation to you. Sorry, there's no beer or hat or anything, but you got the voice at least, so there you go.
When I was in New York for the first time, right? I went and I had New York. I wanted to do it all. I had the New York pizza. I'm like, this shit is trash. And then there was just some random dude who was like, you got to go to the place the suits go. He's like, you got to follow the suits. You know what I mean? Like, the people that are on lunch. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
They go to the real spots. You know what I mean? Not this old Sbarro like he was talking about. You know what I mean?
No chains.
You never go into Sbarro. You never go into anything like not in New York. Gotta be authentic. And you're right. You follow the people that know.
Yeah, the ones who eat there every day. All right, couple more questions, and then we are out of here. And Bill Sarah, he said, what's your opinion on Kenyon Drake? Is he flexible? Standard league, 12 people. Would you start Drake or Edwards? Okay. And then side question, would you guys start Gore from KC at the flex?
Everyone's all over Gore. I'm like, really? Oh, this kind of just, yeah, sure. He had a nice game, for someone coming off the bench. But it's nothing. I don't think it's going to be a thing. I'm not freaking out over it. I like Edwards of all of those, honestly.
Yeah, I'll probably play Edwards, but if there's a game to play, a running back, it's against Green Bay. Like, Green Bay is not a good run defense, you know what I mean? But the thing with Green Bay is most teams are playing from behind when they're playing Green Bay, so they got to abandon the run. But when you can establish a run, like I think they will be able to, you know what I mean, this time around, like with both double barrel Daryl and this kid Gore. Andy Reid said Gore would get more work. Only thing is he's learning the protection slower. You know what I mean? So they gave him a real drive. Did you see that? They gave him his own drive just to be like, I think that was like, pun intended, a test drive. Like, all right, let's see how this kid, you know what I mean? Obviously, this will probably be a single week thing right here because it'll only be shared between two running backs, really, Darrell Williams and Gore. Like, Gore can get 12 carries easily. He got 10 touches. You know what I mean? And they were going hurry up. That was kind of interesting. They had him on the field right there. So I think this is going to be a thing this week. I think he's a flex play.
I agree with that. The reason why Darrell is good, but he's just a pass pro blocking guy. He really doesn't have any explosion. He's not fast. And Gore just had a little bit more burst. So I think that Kansas City, with Pat Mahomes throwing interceptions, they are going to try to implement the run game more. So Gore is a guy that you can pick up and stream from week to week. He's nothing that for the rest of the season because we don't know what's going to happen with Clyde. But I think he's streamable this week, so I would pick him up and play him this week in a flex.
I mean, actually, I really think this is the thing until Clyde gets back. Then, like, it'll just be a full-blown committee because I think Andy Reid recognizes when they went on their Super Bowl run and beat my Niners, it was on the back of running a committee. And then when they got into the postseason, they put it all on Damian Williams. But during the season, it was a full committee. You know what I mean? So I think
agree with that.
Moving forward, and this is kind of them gearing up Gore because Gore is a different running back than Clyde.
I'm not excited about committees, so call me crazy, but so I don't know. He's gonna be there, but I don't think he's gonna be a big thing. I really don't. I mean, I guess I disagree with you guys on that. We'll see what happens. We don't know, but I think that D. Will's gonna be fine. He's gonna get his. He's been doing all right. I think Clyde's gonna be back soon enough, and it's gonna. I don't know. I would just spend my fab. I would spend or pick up shit elsewhere personally. I mean, that's how I feel.
Well, here's what it comes down to me why I would start Edwards, and really it's because he's leading all wide receivers in snap percentage. I mean, I believe outside of Darren Waller, he's pretty much leading the team in snap percentage. He's going to get more targets now with Ruggs out. I mean, whether it's one or two more targets a game, who knows? But either way, it's him, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfrow. Those have pretty much been the big three.
Because I like the Raiders matchup. I think Edwards should eat here.
Yeah, so that's where we're going. They're just asking for this week right now.
And someone coming out asking me like, "Well, what about Zay Jones?" I'm like, he might get one more target per game, but I don't know. He's got like 2 targets on a good day,
Yeah, standard is just hard for me to go to a receiver in his standard because he's not getting, if he gets 6-7 catches, it won't count. He basically has to get a bunch of yards or a touchdown. So Gore, if he don't play but like 8 snaps and fall in for 2 touchdowns, that's pretty good in standard. So it's just hard for me to go to wide receivers, but sometimes wide receivers do hit better than running backs in standard.
I got the bet. See, that was really sound advice. I like that. Here, look at this one now. Don't play in standard leagues.
Yeah, don't play in standard leagues. Never do it.
It's
all right.
You're not having enough fun.
Yep. And so for Hollywood
do
here,
at least a half point, people. At least a half point.
So Hollywood says Matt Stafford listed as questionable now, probably just a rest day, but something to keep an eye on. It is going to be just a rest day for someone like Stafford. So yeah, even if you're limited by practicing 99%, you're still limited. You still get a questionable tag.
They used to have the probable tag, and then they took that away. I remember when that happened, like, shit, everyone's going to freak out every time everyone's questionable on a Wednesday. And here we are. But no, yeah, and most of the time, unless you hear like something, you know, some major news different, you know, when someone pops up with a questionable, likely they're going to be okay.
You know what probable is nowadays? Is just when they say they're limited. You know what I mean? Because that's like, oh, he's limited. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of towards like he's going to play. It's funny, you know. I remember that was what, like 3 years ago they got rid of the probable.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did, because it's annoying when someone was probable and then they didn't end up playing. Some bullshit.
And then nowadays too, if you see doubtful, that they're not going to play. You know what I mean? They might.
We already know that.
You know what I mean?
All right, let's see. A couple more, and then we're out of here. Michael Chapp said, I have Pitts as my tight end 1, Ertz on the bench with Diggs and Keenan Allen as wide receivers. Would you guys do a Pitts Diggs for an RB1 so I compare them with Dalvin? I have Hollywood as my wide receiver 2.
Pitts and Dalvin.
That'd have to be a pretty damn big RB1.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, we're talking.
He said,
I don't know who I'd Cook. I don't know who would I.
I mean,
he already has Cook, so that's what I mean.
Like, he does, right? So
he's talking about trading away Cook to get like Diggs and
trading away Pitts.
Pairing him with Dalvin. Yeah, he's got Cook already.
I mean, either way, that's what I mean. Whatever the hell you're going to be trading for, that's already way too much.
Yeah,
unless you get Najee. If you can get Najee, I would do this for Najee.
Maybe.
Do this. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't give you Najee for it. I wouldn't give you Najee for it. But if somebody's willing to give you Najee, I would do that. Other than that, man, I don't know if there's a running back out there. And the reason why you got to be careful, too, because you don't want to trade for guys that might go down. So I trust not. He's young, you know.
But see, anybody.
I like him, too.
Like that you can't. I mean, that's too like ironclad that when you say it like that, anybody can go down. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, but you got to go do your research. I mean, if a guy has never been hurt, you kind of got to give him that mystique that he's a guy that's trustable to start every week. If he hasn't been like D-Hop, somebody said I like D-Hop because I know he's going to play through an injury.
Everybody has the same probability of getting injured as the next man as soon as they step on the field.
I don't know about that. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Some people are better conditioned than others, honestly.
Yeah, but still though, non-contact, anything can happen. Like, you know, in the multiverse, everything does happen at least one time or another. So
fantasy is a game of what's most likely to happen, not what could happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we got two more questions. 2 more questions, and we're getting up out of here.
Okay, I think that was arguing for the sake of it on my part.
we got playing the devil's advocate there.
Do the math. Everyone get hurt.
We got two more questions. We got 2 more questions in here. One from my man Hollywood, and then the last one from Axelcution, Patreon member. If you guys want a question answered, just throw it in as a super chat right now. And coming back with the Q&A in about an hour. And so Hollywood, he said, Michael Carter or Amari Cooper for the flex this weekend.
I'll go Cooper with Dak trending back. And even if it's not, the matchup's still actually, you know what? Damn, he's going to have Surtain on him.
So it's Michael Carter versus the Colts on Thursday night, and it's Cooper versus the Broncos.
And the Colts got their full force of their linebackers too.
See, to me, it's partially about whether or not Dak plays. But either way, I'm leaning Cooper.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm gonna go with Michael Carter, and this is what I'm gonna say. Why is Amari Cooper? Why you have to make that decision? Why is Amari Cooper not in your lineup? This got to be a 10-team league. Because I feel like you could get Amari Cooper on the field. So I would try to get him on the field. But I'm always going to play. I'm a 0 RB guy, but I'm always going to go to the RB that's got the full workload before I go to the receiver. That's on a decent offense. Michael Carter is, especially in PPR, because he's fine. I don't need him to be great and standard. I just need him to get his catches, even if there is a negative game script. So I'm going to say Michael Carter even in PPR or standard.
I don't
know. The Indy D is not the Bengals D.
The Bengals are supposed to be deep. Supposed to be better. The Bengals supposed to be better, right?
I don't know, man. I'm not seeing that this year.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm going Michael Carter. I mean, I'm not Michael Carter. I'm going Amari Cooper with this. We saw what he did last week with Cooper Rush. Their offense is just going to bring it out, and yeah, the Colts, I feel like they're gonna back up the run. Really, what they're gonna do. I mean, they're gonna force you to. I mean, it's gonna be easier to throw it on them with the pieces they're already missing in the secondary. But yeah, I'm going Cooper here. And so, last question here. I'm gonna get in on this one first. But Axel Cushion, he said, "What is y'all win percentage in all the leagues y'all are in?" So,
Damn.
I've got a few where, actually, I think I'm down to one where I'm 8-0. But I know that I'm in 45 leagues. So I'm probably about, I know I'm winning in about 60% of them. And then I think it's like 20% of them. I think I'm at, I was at 500. So I'm either right above or below it. And then it's the last like 15% where I'm losing records.
I'm in 21 leagues, right? 4 dynasty leagues. 3 out of the 4 dynasty leagues, I'm on the 2022, right? And then there's one where I'm on the decline. Oh, I think I'm like 4-4 now. You know what I mean? That one. But then everywhere else, bro, if the playoffs start now, I'm in that game. I'm even a number 1 seed in a bunch of them. If it's right now. But
So out of 12, I'm in 12 leagues. A couple of them are best ball. 2 of them are dynasties, and the other ones are redraft. 2 redrafts, I'm out. I'm like 1-6. But the other ones, I'm doing very well in. I'm in the playoffs. And I'm doing very well in the Scott Fishbowl. I actually is top 10 in scoring in one weekend for Scott Fishbowl. Like I'm for the top 10 points scored all season. So I'm most excited about that one. And yeah, that's about it, bro. So out of 12 leagues, I say 6 of them, I look like I'm gonna be the contender for the championship.
Tyrant,
I feel weak, man. I'm only in 7 leagues. No, I still have 1 8-0, so good there. I've got like let's see, 2 7-1s, 2 5-2s, 5-3s. And then how many was that? Oh yeah, no, then I got 2 4-4s. So I'm doing all right. I have no teams that are below 500. So knock on wood.
all my dynasty teams are just fucking nothing can be said. Everything happens that you could imagine. Even like all down to like, making a late swap on an IDP guy and losing, and that he was the mark. He was for the win, and I had like 3 of those in that league, in the Hustler Dynasty League, bro. Yeah. So I don't even. I think I'm like 3-5 or I'm 2-6 around there. I'm just like, man, I either got to go on a run or I'm just done. You know what I mean?
Hey, Hustler leagues, I ain't gonna lie, man. Listen, Hustler, the way you do your dynasty, that's gas, bro. I love the defense. I love the IDP. It makes it real, bro. So yeah, you got the most bet. I haven't played in dynasty, so I'm being disingenuous, but I love it. I love it, man. I'm addicted. I want to be in this for 15, 20 years. 7 years old, I want to call you, hey, Hustler. I play you this week, bro.
My man Steamboat Joe, he's one of my co-hosts and shit. He's also like a great friend of mine in real life. Like I've known him since we were kids. And I remember, when we got into heavy poker in our early 20s, and he was into fantasy football already. You know what I mean? This is like 50 years ago. He was already in that thing. And he said his dad, he got a dynasty team that his dad gave to him. You know what I mean? Like, he remembers going to the draft when he was a kid with his dad. Like,
wow,
that's cool.
That thing, and then since then they moved to digital platforms years ago. You know what I mean? So and it's been going on forever. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Right?
I had to get my dad into it for 1 season. He was like, "All right, I'm done."
Yeah.
I had to use a computer for this shit. Fuck that.
It's what's crazy is like I used to sell like some of my cousins that like they would get down in the work league. Then I try to get them into like a more serious league, more money, so they're paying more attention. You know what I mean? And like it's a certain type of individual that doesn't like quit. You know, some people get and they'll just be like, I'm done, and they're checked out. You know what I mean? Like they're not claims, they're not doing anything, leaving people in their lineup. Like I can't say.
I'm never giving up my leagues unless I go broke and I say, Hustle, I ain't got the money to pay my dues, bro. Other than that, I ain't giving up nothing.
I have the league. I have the most money on the line in. I started off 0-4, and I was like, oh shit, all right. So then I just made some moves, did some waiver shit, and I rattled off 4 in a row. And I'm actually in 6th place. What's funny is I have the 3rd most fantasy points, and I was like in 9th place at one point. I was like, just unlucky, playing everyone on their good week. But shit, it can always turn around. It's too, especially with an extra game this season, man. It can always turn around. Don't give up, everybody out there.
I got a 10-team keeper leagues, $500 buy-in. You keep 4 players every year, and this shit is just crazy. It's more strategic than anything. You know what I mean? Like, who you're gonna start? You're not really forced into this shit. You know what I mean? But like, you know, and in true Bogard fashion, my team's always hella top heavy because I'll just trade, I'll consolidate guys down, and like, you know, this is a massive blow for me. You know what I mean? I'm like, dang. You know what I mean? And like, luckily, I rattled off a bunch of wins where it's like, now I just got to make the smart starts every week and hope things go in my favor because I'm always highest points scored against. You know what I mean? Like, I just have that in my repertoire. Motherfuckers, they show up when they play me. You know what I mean? Like, it just happens.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, like one of my big time leagues that I haven't won in shit like 11 years, but the league that I've had since like 2007, I think was the first year that we started it. So I start off 1-3, and then I win one, I lose one, I'm 2-4, just looking real nasty in like 11th place or maybe 10th place. I rattle off 2 wins in a row, and I score pretty high, and now I'm in 7th place. You know, outside looking in on the playoffs still. But either way, we still got a lot of games to go. And I just beat the first place team who's been shitting on everybody, you know, and he happened to have a couple guys who didn't go off, and I ended up beating them, you know, so shit happens. So you just got to keep grinding.
Yeah.
And last question here. So Taylor, what up, bro? Shout out to the Patreon crew. He said, what up, guys? Hustler, I haven't had a chance to watch any of the videos the last few days. Can I hear a quick recap of what everyone thinks is going to happen to Ruggs, and what are we doing with him in Dynasty? Okay, so hold on. Before we answer, really quick, hold on. I saved this for last. I just didn't know when we were going to talk about it, and now's a perfect time. So thanks for bringing it up right at the end, Taylor. So Henry Ruggs, he's accused of driving 156 miles seconds before the crash, and he said it said he was at 127 miles per hour when his airbags deployed, and his blood alcohol level was 0.161, so that's double. And oh shit. Which is more than twice the legal limit, and I didn't even see this last part until now because I just saw the notification, which was like the top sentence, and now the bottom sentence, a loaded gun was also found in his car.
That's the big thing. That's a big thing. That's not the big thing. That's a big thing.
I mean, like, man, dude, this kid, he got problems, and now he got more problems, bro.
So let's just relate it to Dynasty for this. This.
Already released. He's done. Finito.
Cutting bait.
I mean, you should try to trade him, but I mean, we're pretty much.
Who's going to take him? I mean, if you got a fool in your league who can take him, I'm sure. Someone who's not paying attention, take advantage of it. But yeah, other than that, you're cutting bait.
Yeah. As far as anything with fantasy or anything like that, you move on. I don't know if. Depends on if you really dedicated to your dynasty league, then you stash them. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know a lot about it, but Dante Starworth had something similar to this, where he had a car crash and he was over the limit of drinking and he killed somebody. He came back and played. I think if he's such a young guy, he could be out for 6 years, but he could rehab and rehabilitate himself and go on a apology tour. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like he actually showed that he's contrite. He's really serious about this. And I think he could come back and have a career. Maybe 28, 29 years old.
Done for life. He's done.
Even if he's not, honestly, I just don't feel like he comes back enough to where he's going to be worth trying to keep around on a roster, on a dynasty roster. I think there's going to be way too many other guys you could pick up in the meantime that are going to produce now and in the future, and for sure. It's just, I mean, if it's like some super deep, league or something like that, okay, maybe you hold on to him if you can. But I just don't see a scenario where you're not going to find someone else that would be a better replacement by then.
He is done for life.
Could be.
Yep, could be. All right, and on that note, we're getting up out of here, so let's round robin this. Bogard, why don't you tell everybody where to find you at and what you got going on?
Yeah, you could find me at the GMM Network. Whole universe, give me money. Tune in live, 6:30 p.m. West Coast time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. For the Real Fantasy Playmakers, you know what I'm saying? That's tonight. You know what I mean? But we're continuing the What If series. I don't know my what if yet. I just, there's a bunch of injuries that we could do plays on, but like, or like, how about that spoiler alert? What if Michael Thomas? What was yours, Hustler? Give him a little hint to yours.
It's going to be something about Michael Thomas. It's going to be some potential scenarios of where he might be moving later on because, he's done for the year. We know he wants to get out of there. So I'm going to be talking about potential landing spots for Michael Thomas.
Yeah. So, tune in live. We're simulcasting from the channel and the GMM Network. TD, are you?
I'm going to try to make that.
Okay. I'll text before we go on just to
okay.
Yeah, and if not, no worries, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'll just text me and I'll text you and I'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll, and if not tonight, we'll get Real Fantasy Playmakers debut just yet. And if anybody wants to go back and watch the episode, that shit was epic. Gandalf made his debut on the Real Fantasy Playmakers. So you know what I'm saying? It's the Wednesday thing, man. It's one of the more laid back shows. Everybody tap in.
Yeah.
Tyrant, go ahead and tell them where to find you at and what you got going on.
So see, everyone's got this show going on tonight. I've got one too. So if you want to check out one and then check out the other, or hell, put them up on both screens. If you can somehow hear what we're both saying at the same time, why not? But if not, check mine out later, because once you get their news, check mine out. It's kind of a little bit different. It's a little bit off the walls. We'll be talking about a lot of the things that are going on this week. It's called Mixed Notes. It's at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I just go over, all the news and notes of the week in kind of a funny, almost like an SNL weekend update sort of format and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, though, I have to kill one of my famous segments, the one at the end, because I usually tell you if it's going to be famous or heinous Jameis this week. And with the injury, I'm going to have to do something different. What am I going to do? Come find out. 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Mixed Notes. Fantasy Tyrant on YouTube.
You should start doing it about Wentz, because Wentz is kind of schizophrenic too. He shows up or he doesn't. You know what I mean? Or like when he does show up, he's trying his best to like not. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Go ahead,
It could
TD.
be. And that's not bad. I gotta think of some like nicknames for that though.
So guys, yes. So go to any social media platform and it's Fantasy Good Sports with no spaces in between. Just Fantasy Good Sports. I'm on all social media platforms. Guys, go to TikTok. I really got a great TikTok. I give you a lot of cutting edge content there, where it's different than what other people are saying. So I am a contrarian. I do go against the grain a little bit, but I am fair. And guys, go sign up to my OnlyFans. And I'm not just telling you that just to get $10 a month. Guys, it's actually, I like doing it because I give you a better assessment of your breakdown on your lineups or whatever you need. So go subscribe to my OnlyFans, and I'm not taking off my clothes. I'm talking about fantasy football. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, and you guys already know where to find me at Fantasy Football Hustler. or at FF Hustler 420 on all social media. If you're not watching this on YouTube, hop over to YouTube. Once you subscribe, you're going to get entered into the Darius Leonard signed jersey giveaway. So make sure you go do that now. And go to Patreon, patreon.com/FF Hustler 420. Got a lot of good things going on, but it's really all about the access to me, getting into the community. We got a really dope community. We got a big Discord chat where everyone's chiming in 24/7. So go get in there. It's patreon.com/FF Hustler 420. All right. We're out of here. Peace out, everybody.
Later.